Hello there, it's paper time with all the reaction to another crazy week in football. Let's start off this week with the Europa League final and Benfica, the team with more curse problems than Bill Grundy. As you probably know, Benfica came into Wednesday's game with Chelsea struggling with one or two issues, a feeling I know all too well. The first thing was that just 4 days before the Chelsea match, they'd blown the Portuguese title in the 92nd minute against Porto, having gone the entire season till that point unbeaten. The second thing was Bela Gutmann, who, prior to starring in vampire films and the Benny Hill show, managed them to 2 European titles, then told them they'd never win another without him in 100 years. 51 years later, and it's still going strong. Benfica, of course, finishing up on Wednesday with their players face down in the turf, and lots of Portuguese headlines like this. Now it's the curse of the 90th minute. So Jogo record with the curse comes in the dying seconds. At least I think that's what they mean there. And a bola, it's 90 minutes plus pain. They lose again in the 92nd minute. Says the paper, the problem though, it's not so much the curse of Bela Gutmann, but the curse of manager Jorge Jesus. Twice now in 4 days, the team's been needing a draw with just a few seconds left on the clock, but they've looked unprepared for the pressure. At the most important moment, they've been listless and distracted. Well, still, Portuguese fans, just another 49 years to go on that particular one. Let's move on to item 2, which is 41 years, which is exactly how long Thomas Schaaf has been at Werder Bremen. Certainly puts Sir Alex in perspective, doesn't it? Schaaf joined the German club in 1972. In 1979, he played his first ever Bundesliga game for them. But this Wednesday, 12,446 days later, his era came to an end there. Yep, Thomas shafted, in a very real sense, by the club after their 14th place finish this season. End of a legend. Pick that back up. He had tears in his eyes as he shook the players' hands, but, says the paper, this was painful but fair. Winning isn't the only thing, there's also good football and nurturing players. Schaaf did none of these. Oh, he's a complicated man and no one understands him but his woman, Thomas Schaaf. Now, titles. Barcelona won the Liga title at the weekend. Of course, it's been sewn up for ages, this, like a eunuch's fly, but they still had the big open-top bus parade around the Catalan capital. If only they'd been that ruthless with Bayern Munich, right? Over in France, meanwhile, PSG, who are Les Champions, their first league triumph in 19 years. L'Equipe there celebrating the success of the French capital. Qatari capital, to be fair, had more to do with this one. Didn't take long for Parisian celebrations to turn sourer than creme fraiche, though. First, PSG's victory rally on Monday at the Place du Trocadero had to be abandoned just minutes in, and players hustled back to safety when more than 1,000 fans started rioting, leaving cars smashed and shops broken into, 30 people wounded and 21 arrested. Paris overwhelmed, as L'Equipe put it there. The party is plundered, says Aujourd'hui, champions under shock. The hooligan issues really nothing new for this club, so there was plenty of surprise in the papers that the rally was actually organised in the centre of Paris with so few police in attendance. Paris, the hangover, says Thursday's edition. For them, the big question was, how will the visibly shocked Sheikh owner, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, react to this? Well, amid all the confusion, Monday's riot was then followed by word that Carlo Ancelotti had already signed up with Real Madrid for next season, according anyway to the Spanish papers. Carlo himself on Thursday saying in L'Equipe, I'm 50-50, although that may be his measurement, essentially. L'Equipe, though, insists that Paris Saint-Germain are going to play hardball. They're only willing to let him go if Real will accept 100 million euros for Cristiano Ronaldo. Boy, they drive a hard bargain. 100 million euros, of course, is more or less what Real just last week was supposed to be offering Santos for Neymar. Over in Catalonia, though, they reckon that Neymar is now finally going to Barcelona, and this time they really mean it. Of course, this story's been rumbling on for years, but says Sport here, Barcelona's suits are over in Brazil this week to meet with the Santos board, and if they say yes, the deal could go through today, says Thursday's edition. Well, whatever, Neymar on that till he signs, I beg you. Moving on, and elsewhere in Spain, it is the all-Madrid Copa del Rey final this Friday night, of course. So Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid. AS have the Real players counting down by hanging out without their manager Jose Mourinho, what AS calls No moo therapy. Madrid paper Mundo Atletico. Meanwhile, getting the Atleti players in the swing by getting the Atleti players in the swing. There's Saul and Oliver pictured in a playground, although given their recent record in derbies, on the slide might have been better. What a marker. Are they joining in the fun? Well, no, they've just discovered that football is only a game. Yeah, the paper with more agendas and bias than a shop selling diaries has had something of a road to Damascus moment. To is this young Alejandro here, who was photographed breaking up a row between a referee and his manager at his game for under sixes. A 5-year-old Alejandro declaring, "Stop, stop, stop. I just want to play." Yes, says Marca, this young fella has given the whole world a lesson. It's only football. Wow, I'm delighted at their new direction. With that, though, we're all done for this week. Do make sure you join us next Friday for more from the papers in what may or may not be the final edition of our paper review for this season. See you then.